Hey guys, what's up? Sitting outside the best gym in the Corning Elmira area, Elmira Fitness Center. Absolutely love this place. Anyway, sitting out here, waiting to go in. Thought I would, what if I could set this up? Thought I would answer a question, because I put up on the Facebook page, the Hunt Fitness Facebook page, and my personal Facebook, Kyle Hunt, just on Facebook, threw up some questions. And I figured I'd pick one and do a video on it. So I'm going to pick Ashley Nordman's question. Your girl. Alright. I get asked a lot about DOMS, so delayed onset muscle soreness. Might be something good to talk about. Well, since you didn't really ask a question, I'm just going to take it as I can talk about whatever I want to about that subject. And I figured that's a good one to talk about because my hamstrings are so fucking sore right now. It's insane. So, I have a lot of delayed onset muscle soreness. I did a deadlift hamstring workout a couple days ago, and I'm doing a lower body session right now. So I'm feeling it. But I guess a couple different things, because I get that question a lot too. First off, does delayed onset muscle soreness, or we'll just talk about soreness in general, does that correlate to a successful training session? And I want to say yes and no. There's no direct correlation there between how sore you get and how much or how effective the training was, and for hypertrophy, we'll say. And a good example is you can get a lot of soreness from aerobic training. So you go out and run, I don't know, more than what you're used to. So for most of you guys, run to the end of the block. I'm just kidding, but seriously, go run like 3 miles. If you're not used to running, your lower body is going to be wrecked the next day. Completely sore. You won't be able to go to a leg workout. However, obviously running 3 miles, it does hardly anything for lower body hypertrophy, or muscle size for your lower body. So there's a lot of different variables there. However, there has been a few studies on like metabolic damage created to the muscle tissue. So looking at tissue damage. Because obviously, you guys all know, when you resistance train, you break down the muscle tissues, so tear them down, and then they recover, grow stronger, bigger or stronger. That's very generalized, and that's not really You're making a lot of noise.
I'm eating.
You're eating. So there is a correlation between the amount of damage a training session creates and the hypertrophy response to that. Now, it's not a direct correlation, but basically what I'm trying to say is, generally, the training session that causes the most muscle tissue damage, so damage to the muscle tissue, is one way to look at it. It's one aspect of hypertrophy. So, workouts that create the most damage tend to be beneficial for hypertrophy. However, they also tend to cause the most soreness. So, whereas soreness alone isn't an indication of a successful training session, it can, damage can be. And there's a few research studies that has looked at that. But another thing I want to point out is the most important thing in my opinion, just in general, for training, for hypertrophy, for strength training, just in general, training in general, is progressive overload. So, you got to have built-in progression into your training. So, it's not so much just going in there and killing yourself. And I think that's where people get this mixed up, This idea that you have to be brutally sore the next day for your training session to be considered effective. You just got to go in and kill yourself in the gym, do tons of volume, tons of intensity. And that's just not the case. Really, it's progression. So that progressive overload. So if you're doing heavier weights throughout training weeks, training months, you're making progress. If you're doing more reps with the same weight, you're making progress. So that's kind of the idea. You want to be making progress. It's not about just killing yourself. And I think a lot of people get that mixed up, and a lot of coaches even get that mixed up. A lot of trainers feel like they need to just beat their clients to death for them to think it's a good workout. And I think that's not always the case. So that's one thing. Anything else I should talk about with muscle soreness?
How to get rid of it.
How to get rid of it?
Yeah, like how to make it feel
Alright,
better.
so for me, muscle soreness. So, couple things I like to do when I'm really sore. Oh, another thing. There used to be a myth that you can't train a sore muscle. There's no reason why you can't train a sore muscle. I mean, yeah, it's if you're really sore and it's painful, it's like I'm kind of at right now, but I'm gonna go train it anyway because I'm hardcore like that. You're not gonna it's not gonna do any damage. Like I've heard people say, "Oh, you can't train a sore muscle. You're not gonna make any progress doing that. You're just gonna do more harm than good." That's not the case. Yeah, obviously if it's really sore and it makes you use bad mechanics because your hamstrings are sore, so you're using bad form, or your triceps are sore, so you're using bad form on bench, more shoulder activity, something like that. Yeah, that's not a good idea because then you're gonna get hurt, injury. You gotta know the difference between muscle soreness and muscle injury, and that'll come with training time. But to get rid of soreness, I like foam rolling. That tends to help. I mean, it hurts more obviously because rolling a sore muscle, but it tends to loosen things up, get some blood in there. But really moving. I'm gonna take a little bit extra warm up today. Do a little bit more of a aerobic warm up. Get some blood flowing. Get some movement going. I think the worst thing to do is to not move. So you always hear about people saying, "Oh, I had a huge leg day yesterday. Now I'm sore. Can't even sit on the fucking toilet, so I'm not gonna move today. I'm just sitting on the couch." So that actually is the exact opposite thing than what you should do. You should get up. Even if it's a rest day or scheduled rest day, get up, go for a walk, get moving. Active recovery is what you should do. All right, guys, I think that's it.
Lacrosse balls.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, but I like those
foam
better.
rolling, lacrosse balls. Well, the benefit to a lacrosse ball over a foam roller is lacrosse ball is very accurate. You can get into a direct point. I have a rumble roller. That's kind of the same idea. You can kind of find one of the bumps to get in. If you have a certain spot that you want to work, that area, a lacrosse ball is perfect for that. That's another thing. All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, hashtag #AskHunt. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Say that 5 times fast.
Say that 5 times fast. Ask Hunt. Tell me what you come up with. Okay, guys. Peace.